So we're going to go through just a couple of attacks from the back, but we're going to focus a lot on the rear naked choke. But I want to show an entry first to how to get the arm all the way through, because more often than not he can tuck his chin down, and that can be a nightmare to deal with. So we need to know how to get underneath and all the way through to the chin. But even when I get it through, still them using their hands to defend, etc. But first, just going to show me not being on his back and how I get underneath that chin line, okay? And then we'll go from a good control on the back, and then we'll work from that. So the rear naked choke is a very simple choke where I get my elbow in line with his jaw, not his center line, because if I go for his center line, his jaw can move. So if I'm relying upon my elbow being in line with his chest, his head can turn the other way, and it's no longer a blood choke, it becomes more of a bar choke, so his esophagus, okay? So what I look to do is I aim to try and get it in line with his chin, so that I can get all the way through and get into position of it, okay? But getting my arm into that position is incredibly hard, okay? So we're gonna go through some steps on how to get there, and then we'll deal with once he's on the back. So for the first step is I'm going to work my hand through, and if he chops his chin down, me just using my fingers or my full fist, I mean, I'm never gonna get my full fist underneath there, okay? It's not enough space. If I use my fingers, it's not enough, they're too weak. But if I create this almost midway through, where I'm bending my fingers just partially, what I can do is look for that jawline or that bone structure where it starts, from there, and I slide through and work it through. And unless they've got the jaws of steel, it's rare I can't get underneath this, okay? So I work through, and as I do this, I gently work it through, and I'll go gently as I do it. I gently work it through until I get all the way through, and then I reach straight away for his lap, okay? Straight to there, the moment I'm through. Because more often than not, we're in positions where I've got my arm under here. I can't just reach straight for my hand in this position, okay? So once I've worked all the way through, I then create this wedge on the back of his trap, and so that it's harder for him just to pull on my arm and take it down. It's not impossible, it's still much easier, but I've still got something to hold on to compared to if I just hold it here, it's now my bicep against him rather than structure and bicep, okay? So drop your chin for me. So I keep my head on the opposite side, I work my knuckle through all the way and reach through until you get to the lap, okay? We're just initially going to do that, and then we're going to do a choke from here before we do the rear naked choke. Okay, it's got a Dan Severn. Okay? Any questions on this? No? Do one that is really evil, and then the others just do it a bit lighter, so we don't want to destroy each other every time we're doing the technique, right? Okay? Alright, have a go everyone.
Nice and cinematic, like it.
Okay, so a crucial point that I missed on this is, when you're in this position and you create this half fist, the part that starts the opening up of the jawline is my thumb and knuckle, okay? So when he's got his jaw down, I can't just start driving these knuckles in because my elbow starts to flare. So it's my thumb first, starts to open it up, and then it starts working its way around till eventually I get through to that trap. It's not as sweaty anymore, so it's more uncomfortable for him. Okay, so if I get my arm all the way through, and again, a crucial point to this, and I'm not quite on his back yet, but I always want my head on the opposite side to the arm that is over his shoulder, okay? There are exceptions to that, but if I want to choke him, one arm on one side of the head, my head on the other side, so we're in this position here. I work round, I give myself a bit of space. Now, I don't always just rush to a rear naked choke, because I can finish it here. Okay, so what I look to do is, my hand is, my palm of my hand that's choking him is face down. So I'm going to go with my other arm face up, get a grip, a gable grip, wrap both my fingers round, and then I hide the forearm behind his shoulder blade. I then pull back, and it starts applying pressure directly into the throat, okay? So
when you do it, you push off the back.
Yes, you're creating a lever off his back as you're doing it, and what happens is, as I start to push down, it pulls the forearm back, just like this, okay? So we're in this position here, palm up, nice and close to his neck as possible, drop my forearm and start, as I'm here, I'm now pulling back as I do it, almost like a bicep curl, okay? Just keep my head close, forearm down, pull back, okay? It's an evil choke, okay? It was made famous by Dan Severn, like early UFC, okay? One more time. We're in this position, drive through, move my chin to get a nice close grip, palm up, gable grip, hide the forearm, and pull back. Okay? Any questions? No? Have a go, everyone. Okay, so an example of where this can be from. So if I'm ever in this turtle position and I manage to extend him out, okay? So we go all the way down to where we're in this position. More often than not, it's really hard for me to get my arm all the way through. So if I've then worked to get my hand through all the way, getting a rear naked choke from here can be very hard because of how flattened out he is. So all I've got to do is grab my hand and extend and pull up, and it's so powerful. That's my most common place that I get it from, okay? Whereas being able to slip my arm all the way through to then try and tighten all this up takes a lot more effort than it's needed here because it's so much harder to defend. Okay, so you can have a go at that if you want, it's just an example. Okay, so let's go on to the actual rear naked choke. Okay, again, we're still just doing it from my knees because I don't want to focus on anything other than just the application of the choke, okay? And there's a final detail to this, or when I get to the end, that I don't think many people teach, that helps it when you're going against someone strong, okay? So we've gone all the way through and I've got to this position, so if his chin was down, etc., we do what we normally do. So we slide through to this point. Right, what I would never advise to do is what I was taught probably 10 years ago was grab your bicep and then get arm barred effectively. And we teach that because it's easy to remember, or it was taught that way, it's easy to remember. You normally taught, you grab your bicep, you then slide it behind and then you choke him. But like Tyler's doing, if I grab my bicep, he can then hold that and he won't necessarily get the arm bar, but I can't get my right, I have to now get my right arm free, and the whole time he's got defenses in and I'm struggling, okay? So what I do is I fold my arms instead. I put my hand behind his head and slide, and I don't open up my left hand till my bicep is there for him. And my top hand goes palm to me, okay? If I go this way, you see this sort of MMA, mainly because of the gloves that they're using, okay? If I go here, it's easier for him to grab that top hand, go over your head, yeah, and then peel it over, that way, okay? Whereas if I go palm towards me and then create a fist, it almost gets caught in that like nook at the back of your head. Some people got it more profound than others. And it also pushes his head forwards in towards a choke, okay? So, got hold of his lat, fold my arms until my bicep is ready for my hand, my palm is facing towards me, and I'm gonna do quite a few things now to finish it. I'm gonna extend my chest into him, squeeze my elbows together, and then rotate towards my right, okay? And the rotation takes away the power of his neck, okay? Or the power of his arms defending. So, I squeeze my chest, elbows together, and then start rotating. If he was to get both of his hands into my left arm, here, and I do the first two, I may not get this, okay? I'll relax a little bit, go on. Mm-hmm. Right, pull down hard. Okay, whereas I'm gonna do the same again, but rotate at the same time. You got a bit of blood back? Mm-hmm. Are you ready? Okay, it just comes on straight away. And all I'm doing instead is, you okay? Mm-hmm. Is I'm in this position, got the rear naked choke, I'm bringing my chest in, squeezing my elbows together and rotating at the same time. The rotation takes away his power, okay? Because it is a strong position to hold on this. Okay, if you're stronger than them, you won't need that rotation, but don't rely on being stronger than someone, okay?
And sort of with that, you thrust choking me. Oh, God.
Okay.
Horrible.
So head on the opposite side, through, grab the lat.
Is it not like a variation where you push their head down?
Say again?
Where you like get it and then push their head forward?
With my shoulder?
Yeah.
I can do it. All depends on what position I have with. Sorry. All depends on what position I have with my hips and the control I've got. Okay, I can drive my shoulder in as I'm doing this. I just realised, is that his lat or is that his lat?
The first one's his lat. The top.
Why didn't no one correct me? I've been saying lat the whole time. Okay, I've been grabbing his traps. Okay,
Big on traps.
Grabbing his traps from here, cross. Grab my bicep, my palm is facing towards me, I create that fist, my chest expands as if I'm taking it's almost like I'm doing a big man chest, okay? Squeeze the elbows together, that comes on straight away, and then if I do all three, it's horrible, okay? Trap, fold my arms, and it's straight on, okay? Any questions, anyone? have a go on your knees first, so you just focused on the choke, then go to where you put your hooks in, and then have a go at that, okay?